Agudah and welcome to our latest edition of the Agudah Live. It's been a while, shy, but we're back, and we are here once again in Ruach country in Camp Agudah. We just spent an amazing Shabbos here in Machna Agudah, Camp Agudah. What a Shabbos, shy!
Oh, it was unbelievable. I'm telling you, it was my first time. I was not zeich to be a camper over here, but I'm jealous of my son who is a camper here and the rest of the campers. It was a wonderful, exciting, inspirational Shabbos. The Zmiris was one of a kind.
It truly was something special, and as the edition continues, as we continue to have other guests and different people coming and talking about, we'll hear all about Shabbos and Camp Agudah, Ruach country, and all about it. And we are privileged to have as our first guest on tonight's program, Rabbi Septimus, who is a staff member here in the camp. Rabbi Septimus, welcome to the Agudah Live.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Shai. Thank you, Avi. What's going on?
So, Rabbi Septimus, what is your position and job in Camp Agudah?
My position is officially Rosh Hashiva of the 7th grade division.
Rosh Hashiva.
The Rashka Bahag.
Yeah, basically Rosh Hashiva of the 7th grade division. Some people call it division head.
That's a past
I don't think that captures really what's going on.
They don't understand. They don't really understand what goes on, what real camp is.
Not yet. But I train them. Okay, we start from day one.
You tell them, call me Rosh Hashiva.
They're picking up on it. So we have, of course, we're the best campers in the world, so they pick up these things very quickly. And it's wonderful. As you saw, this Shabbos, 7th grade is by far the best division. I mean, that's
7th
obvious.
grade, when you say 7th grade, it's kids going into 7th grade or leaving 7th grade?
Finishing 7th grade. They finish 7th grade, they're going into 8th grade, and that's the best camp age. And just happens to be. I mean, we can say it's not. We can try to make it. Just
we'll have a debate. Well, that's the next person who comes on. What they think.
Could be other people say other things because we don't like when anyone feels like they're second rate.
Rabbi Septimus, were you always in the 7th grade, or were you in other divisions in your history and being in Camp Agudah?
I actually started the 9th grade division.
Are we really talking about the history of Camp Agudah, Avi?
No, I want to Rabbi Septimus. Were always in the 7th grade, or you were other divisions?
I was in the 9th grade division. Interestingly, that when I was in the 9th grade division, that was the best division.
The 9th grade then was the best.
Then that was the best age.
Oh, and now that you're in 7th grade, the 7th grade now became the best.
I don't want to take all the credit, but I'm just saying it's a phenomenon that's been noted, and what can we do?
Rabbi Septimus, let me ask you a question. We're right now, I think it's 3 weeks into camp. Just about 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And the 3 weeks have started. So the question is, how does this momentum, the knack, the pump that's going on here in camp that I saw of Shabbos, how do you keep that going for another 5 weeks? And it just... Does it ever like peter out? Like we're seeing now, like the peak. This is like where it reached the peak, and now from here on, it's gonna be like rolling downhill, or
just getting started.
Or it just gets better.
It just gets better. We're getting started. We're now it's 3 weeks into it almost, and everyone's comfortable. The ruach, as you felt, is tangible, but it's just the beginning. And of course, obviously, the 9 days is the 9 days. It's a little bit tempered, and there's more of a serious, and it's because we are going through the 9 days. But it's with the Ruach, and it's with the Achtos.
And just as you mentioned, the 9 days, by over Shabbos, specifically by Shal Shudas, I felt that that brought in a very emotional part to the Suda by the Zmiris. You know, we spoke about the Ani Mama and the Beis Hamikdash and the value of caring about others, and that added a sort of seriousness, which made it more inspirational, emotional to the whole Shabbos.
It's a theme which we're always pushing. We're always talking about it throughout the 9 days, and as we get closer to Tisha B'Av, we talk about it more. It's not a stira to have ruach and to appreciate being a yid, and part of being a yid is appreciating what we are and where we really should be. We're yidden who are longing for the Beis Hamikdash, and it's a beautiful action. People come from all around to be in Camp Agudah for Tisha B'Av.
For Tisha B'Av, I've heard about this issue. And I heard many people told me that they come. It sounds a little strange to say it, that they come as it's an attraction, but it is an attraction because you want to be in the most appropriate place. It's inspirational. Yeah. And they come to Camp Agudah for many years. People come back and continue to come back.
I was a camper here decades ago, and I remember Camp Agudah with the Rebelskis outside, and it's amazing.
Now, in your division, where do you have campers from? What yeshivas? What's different? Maybe probably different states.
From all over. I mean, we had neighborhood day. Around a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and we had the national anthem sung. We had the American national anthem, we had the Mexican, we had the Turkish national anthem, you had
the Turkish. There's a boy in camp from Turkey.
Boy in camp from Turkey.
Wow!
And he's saying, I mean, he said it was a Turkish. I wouldn't know the difference.
No one's going to argue with him there.
There were a lot of irons and hisses in it. It sounded sinister. I mean, I could see like
The boy from Istanbul's in Camp Agudah.
in camp right now.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Mexico, we said. Canada, I guess. I'm
Mexico,
assuming
Canada. We had.
Right.
We had the Israeli. There's some song they sang. Also,
Hatikva.
Hatikva.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. Everyone together, and then of course that broke our neighborhood day.
Oh, very good. Okay.
They
Who won
have,
neighborhood day?
Who won?
Yeah.
I think it was Long Island, maybe.
Long Island.
Maybe it was just Lakewood.
I think it was probably just
Probably
Lakewood.
just Lakewood. Yeah.
Even though Lakewood really
Lakewood
is
is
in
long.
Lakewood, but
Right.
Right. I imagine it was
Anything
Lakewood.
outside of Brooklyn is
just
all the
Lakewood.
same thing, right?
Maybe it was out
Lakewood.
of town, like Flatbush.
it's amazing. I tell you, it was really a truly inspiring Shabbos. It's great to be back in Camp Agudah. Like was mentioned, Shai talked about, you talked about seeing the balance. That it's the 9 days. It's the 3 weeks, not just the 9 days. It was since camp started, probably.
Yeah.
You went straight into 3 weeks, no music, which right away dims the excitement a little bit, makes it challenging to bring that ruach and that pump. And yet it seems like the camp is rocking. I was worried that more this is like the pinnacle. You reach the peak, and this during the 9 days.
You'll have
this
to
is
come back. Come
This is
back
without
in
the
a week or
music.
two.
I guess we'll
Now
just have to
you're-
come
that's
back
what I was
for
waiting for.
another Shabbos again. Thank you for the
that's
invitation.
you want to just tell me straight.
I will
come
tell
back.
the administrative staff to make sure our rooms are ready for us, and we thank you very
Now,
much.
you mentioned that you good to be back in Camp Agudah. Were you ever here as a camper?
I was zeicher to be here as a masmid for one summer. When
very
Rabbi
nice.
Belsky. When
Wow,
Rabbi
very
Belsky's
nice,
at was
very
still
nice.
here. I still remember stargazing Rabbi Belsky.
Oh, yeah?
I remember Rabbi Belsky went with us to Niagara Falls, which was something to spend 12 hours on the bus. Rabbi Belsky and Rabbi Yarmouth together was just something that I'll never, ever, ever forget. And it was, it's unbelievable what happened. That one half was like, with having the source of being here. So Baruch Hashem, I was here for one half. I wouldn't, I wasn't zeicher to, be the whole Agudah Ruach country, but I came to Shabbos and I'm seeing what I missed and what everyone here is able to have.
Amazing. Yeah,
That's
just
why you're
tremendous.
back. And now you didn't make it as a camp Agudah, but now you're an Agudah staff
That's
member
it.
on, so it's okay.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you.
And you should have a great rest of the summer.
Thank you.
And it's just go higher and rockier from here.
Shkayach. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, good. As we wait, Avi, for our next guest,
For our next guest to come on,
right?
and I think our next guest is right. He just walked into the studio,
Right.
and Moshe Schmalz will be joining us.
There we go. Welcome, Moshe. Move up a little bit.
Agudah Vach Moshe Schmalz, welcome
Wow.
to Agudah. Just to let you know, there are thousands and thousands of people that are going to be seeing this video. So just in case you're nervous to be in the spotlight, just letting you know what's out there, where this is going.
Daily basis.
A daily basis. I guess
You're used to
so.
this. Speak about it.
Moshe, what do you do here in Camp Agudah?
Try to keep the facility under control. Try.
That's a little difficult with thousands of.
That sounds like very simple. No big deal. Just keep it under control.
Try.
You can try.
Try. Especially assistant director.
Oh wow.
Under
Under
Shimon.
Shimon.
Oh wow. Okay,
Rabbi-
Under
very
Rabbi
good.
Neiman. So you
Yes.
answer up Rabbi Neiman directly.
Try to.
Right. But what's your going back to your history in camp? The Schmalz family is not new to Agudah, not new to Camp Agudah. Tell me a little bit about that.
I started out here about a few weeks old in Camp Nos. And
wow.
then my first summer officially sleeping here for the nights that I managed to stay were coming out of second grade.
Wow.
A little earlier than these days. But and I stayed here for 10 years.
Wow. Okay, so you're
Unbelievable.
born and bred. One thing I did notice over Shabbos, if you speak to many of the staff members, they're not one-timers here.
Not at all.
Once you're in a Camp Agudah guy, you're stuck. We're a country, and you're like it's ingrained on you. You stay and you come back. Last year we had a group of co-counselor. They were I don't know 6 years in a row, something like that.
They were two counselors together
Right.
for 6 years. They were staff. They were campers here. They went to the same bunk together, and they came back as counselors together. It's like they live it.
So once you're
they
in, you're
live
stuck. Right.
You're stuck.
And it's a good thing. Don't worry. It's a mila to be there. It's a part of it. It's a family. That's what it comes down to. Everyone here I see. We sat in the dining room, the family dining room. It's really nice to see everyone talking. The relationships all the tables have. The family.
It's a
atmosphere.
family.
It's a real big family.
It's a family.
Right.
Moshe, let me ask you a question. As facilities director, this is a loaded question. What do you think is the hardest part of your job?
The hardest part?
The
was-
hardest, like what's the one thing that you wish you didn't have to do?
I don't think we should say so.
You have an opportunity. Oh, that's very smart. Okay. We can let it roll. If you had to take a guess of all the things you do, right? At the end of the day, the greatest sipik you have from being in camp for the 2 months that you're here. You see this
2
hundreds.
months.
The
He's
2
here already
months.
starting by after Pesach time.
Oh,
working
really?
out, helping.
Come and go. It's
Come and go. So, but now that you're here, you see all the kids. You see hundreds of campers here. You see how they come from the beginning of the day and they come at the end of the day. And you're working and you're working, you're working, you're working. What's the energy in the battery? What keeps you going?
Seeing the kids happy. You have their bunks. They want air conditioning. They want lights. They want their toilets. Hey, there's a lot of bumps in the road, but when they're happy and they're quiet or making a lot of noise in the dining room and not in your ears, or
That's
that
true.
makes you happy.
So I will tell you, you must be doing a very good job because the kids in Camp Agudah are happy. Walked around Shabbos, you see kids that are smiling and that are happy and they're upbeat and it's hot outside and they're walking up. There's a lot of walking in camp. You got to walk up the hill to
You're
base
always walking
this
up the
and to
hill.
base there and all the different bases. Not the base Rafal and the shul and there's the other binyan and the gazebos, and wherever you're going, everybody's smiling. Everybody's smiling in Camp Agudah. So if your job is, your hope is to keep people smiling, you're doing a great job.
Great job.
Thank you.
Moshe, thank you so much for joining us on Agudah Live.
Thank you.
You should have a great
Help setting up.
rest of the summer. See, here's what I noticed, Shai. That when Moshe Schmalz...
That Ellie's going to put the camera going around to see the crowd that we have here for a second. Everyone can wave at the camera. You can take a drink. Okay, Ellie's coming back. Okay, before we get to Avi, before we get to our next guest on the show tonight, let me you've been to a few different camps.
I have.
You've been you can go through different ones you've been to, and you also came here also for once, but now you're here for Shabbos. What are your initial thoughts of your experience, your Shabbos in Ruach country, and your feelings?
So I'll tell you this, the one thing that I kept on being reminded of throughout Shabbos and throughout the programs, the Suda, the davening, learning groups, how you have so much, there's a lot of ruchnius, there's a lot of learning and a lot of speeches and Devar Torahs and drashas, so to speak, and everyone just gravitates to it. They have this thing called salt, maybe Rabbi Feuer will come on later. Shabbos afternoon, hundreds of kids voluntarily went into the base medrash and they were knocking, they were learning Torah Lishma, purely Lishma. They didn't have to be, they didn't need to be, they weren't obligated to be there, they want to. During the Suda, between each song, Rabbi Neiman explains what the song's about, understanding it, the ruchnius and the excitement on both ends. They combined it too, and everybody's so happy. Everyone's really so happy. It's amazing. Hundreds of kids. There's so many challenges. So many things can go wrong. This bunk, that bunk, this table. The dining room is packed. It's jam packed. That's like an opportunity for fights every second. I didn't see any. I did not see one fight in the dining room. The shul, it's packed, and there's these benches that are shaking, and chairs and tables. There's so many, having a little experience of camp, I was a head counselor once upon a time myself. This is like danger zones for fights. I didn't see it. I was waiting for where's the fight? It didn't happen because it's just there's this overall ruach. It really is a ruach of the Heibenkeit, of we're here and we're growing and we're learning and we're all the same team and we're all part of Ruach country. It was beautiful. There's so much to talk about over Shabbos. I write a book about this. It was really, really, really amazing.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you. So we're going to get to our next thing. Aaron Herzberg is here to join us.
Aaron Herzberg.
Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Agudah, Aaron, welcome to Agudah Live.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And Aaron, tell the many, many people that will be watching this video who you are and why you're in camp in Agudah.
So I'm Aaron Herzberg, and I've been here for 11 years.
Wow.
As a camper, as a staff member, as a counselor the past few years, and this year I actually just showed up on Erev Shabbos. I was in yeshiva till Thursday. I came straight from yeshiva here, staying until Rosh Chodesh El, and we're going to the Mir. But for those few weeks, I'm here just help out whatever anyone needs.
Aaron, I noticed over Shabbos, a lot of people go over to you. Obviously, very popular staff member in camp. And you have a nickname. Is there also a nickname that you have?
There's a nickname that I guess thousands of people in the world should know about. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
We don't have
Thank
to
you,
talk
Hashem.
about the nickname, but obviously, you're part of the fabric here.
If you have a nickname, they care about you, they love you.
Yeah, real good.
As a camper to a staff member.
Campers to a staff member.
What do you see? You're on both sides of the coin, so to speak. You on the receiving side, now you're on the giving side, or both ways.
100%, yeah.
What do you feel as a counselor? It's got to be hard. You're sleeping in the bunk. You're dealing with over a dozen kids. How many kids are in a bunk?
Last summer I had 21.
Oh my God.
21 in one bunk?
We have to put a limit on that.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, when you were in camp in, what was it? It was probably 2 for 10.
We had a lot, but 20 was a tremendous amount. But you know what? That's amazing, because you know something? You would think that 21 kids in a bunk, kids wouldn't have their needs attended to, and it's not true.
No.
I see it. I see the kids. It's not true. It's amazing. From having 21 kids in a bunk, right? What do you feel as a counselor was like? It's got to be a hard job. It's got to be tough, and you got to deal with everyone's needs and wants, and I want this and I want that. What gives you the kaich to keep on going? It's 8 weeks. It's tough. What is it?
Obviously, there's nothing more that the best feeling in the world is when you give over to other people. As a counselor, there's mamish. First of all, it builds people. Being a counselor builds people. I remember when I first came, I was a JC. I went to being a counselor. It gives you an achrayas. It teaches you how to be a mensch. It teaches you how to. First of all, it teaches you how to daven, how to everything. You become a bigger person in ruchnius and in midas all around. And you feel it. You feel a lot. First of all, there's a lot of appreciation from kids. You get a lot of covet as a counselor. Everyone loves covet. You get a lot of covet, and there's just something about being there where there's a whole camp of there's thousands or whatever, hundreds of people looking up to you and hundreds of people expecting so much of you, and it's a good feeling. It's obviously an achrayas, but it feels good. It keeps you going, keeps you pushing it till the end.
So I think that's the secret, by the way. I think when you have counselors, Markowitz, that whose purpose in being here is to give over, and the whole idea, exactly what Aaron just said, make mention and this, they're here not just to be a counselor to get the tips and to walk out into someone with a couple of bucks to go to Tzal and buy, pita with it. They're here because they're here to give over. That's what the counselors are, why they're here. If you have that kind of care in a counselor, you could have 30 kids in a bunk. They're going to make sure that every kid is attended to. That's the answer. That's the bottom line.
And it all stems from the head staff. They give it to us.
I had a chance over Shabbos to talk to some of the head staff, and the overwhelming message I got was that they see this as a chinuch opportunity. It's not a break, but it's what else can we give over to the kids? How can we mechazik them, grow them, and let them grow in their own way? In yeshiva, it's very limited in the number of places where guys can excel. Here, the kids can excel in their own learning program, in their own sugya. Sometimes Mishai, sometimes Gemara, sometimes there's Midas programs, there's davening programs, and on Shabbos we had a kid we interviewed in Darche, I think it was Eli Metz. He got up there and spoke. First, he spoke beautifully.
That's right, it was unbelievable.
But the main point they said about him was that he was a beautiful mix of someone who's steiging away, he's growing, and he's also geschmack on the field, and he's able to mix the two and shine like that in the camp. It's amazing.
When would a boy like that have an opportunity to speak in a dining with hundreds of people? This is where the opportunities are given.
I just want to say, I am very close to Rabbi Neiman, to Rabbi Karfi, with a lot of the head staff. I can personally attest that every decision that's made in this camp, every single slight decision, the concert, the speeches, every single slight thing that goes on in camp, it's all thought about how is this going to affect the ruchnius of the campers and the staff. Every single decision that's made.
That's what it's about.
100%.
That's the secret, Avi. That's makes sense.
Aaron, you're a great counselor. I hope.
Thank you very much.
When my kid comes to Camp Agudah, you should be Met Hashem past the yeshiva.
Amen.
You should be back there as a younger man in Met Hashem.
Amen.
So I shouldn't say I wish you'll be his counselor, but I wish my son
maybe his division head
will
or
have a counselor. Well, that means you'd have to let others move out. That means that I wish my son had a counselor like you. Aaron, thank you very much. You've got Sliach, the Yeshiva.
Thank you.
Steig away, and thank you for joining us.
Okay, so before we get to, I was going to say before, I forgot what I was going to say about Aaron.
Shai, it's 11:45 at night. And in camp time, it's like an hour ahead.
No, it's not. Behind.
They're about behind.
So
we're at 11:45.
You got time to go.
The place is rocking. You hear the noise. The place is rocking. Do you know what they did tonight? Matzah Shabbos, 9 days. There's no swimming for the 9 days. There's no music. So the head counselor, I think this was his thought process. It's tough. There's probably no trips. it's a little bit on the low. So what does he do? Tonight, after Havdalah, they may announce in the shul, everyone in camp is going to be invited to the dining room to have an ice cream party. That's what I call it, an ice cream party, where they come and decorate their own ice creams. They're going to have a blast. The kids were pumped. Late curfew, small things. But what is it? It's just we keep the ruach going. The 9 days, it's tough and it's toned down and it's spoken about. But at the same time, they're here to have a good time. And we have to have the balance. And you just saw it. You see it over Shabbos throughout the whole program tonight. Ice cream party. That's happening now, 10:45 at night.
And we're still not over.
It's unbelievable.
Very good. So our next guest we're going to invite down the head counselor, Rabbi Neiman.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
All right. Okay, I feel like I'm in trouble over here.
You're going to call him to the
Now the head counselor got called into our office. So now you'll know what it feels to be on the other side of the desk, huh?
Yeah,
So tell me, what did you do today?
I don't remember.
Rabbi Neiman, I would tell you, it was an amazing Shabbos.
Yes,
It really was an amazing Shabbos. I'm happy we got to come.
I'm so happy that you guys came. You enhanced our Shabbos by being here. You gave over, both of you gave over beautiful chizuk to us. You gave over just a breath of fresh air. You spoke to the boys
multiple times.
a few times about what it means to care about Klal Yisrael, what it means to be a giving person, what it means to be involved in thinking about the next person. Shai, you were on a panel, a question and answer panel. You answered questions about what Agudah Yisrael is involved in and what Agudah Yisrael does. Really enhanced our Shabbos, so we appreciate you being by us.
And we're excited that Avi had mentioned. We're excited also that next week Rabbi Zubal is going to be here.
Right.
He'll be able to give from an executive position, also his thoughts on Agudah. But let me ask you, Rabbi Neiman. You work on camp 12 months of the year. You come to camp. What's your highlight of the year? You know, you got the kids. They have their trips and they have color war and whatever it is. What's your focus? Your highlight of the year?
My highlight, well, first of all, I mean, I heard a little bit when I was passing by about how we pump, we try to pump as much ruchnius as we can, but that is true. But at the same time, it wouldn't be possible at all without giving the kids a blast. And I think everyone here watching over here just live, give me a little voice if you're having a great time here in camp. Give me a little blast. So the message is really, we were just this past week. Did you hear about our trip that we went on?
We didn't hear anything yet. We didn't get to it. We're waiting for you to tell us all about everything we haven't.
So this past week was this past week was our grand trip. The week before that was our mini trip, which wasn't so mini. But this past week we went to most of the camp went to Mountain Creek and to Connecticut Sports Center, and that was just incredible. I was zeichet to go with the ninth grade campers. Ninth grade campers, we went on our Niagara trip, which was non-stop. Literally, we left like 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday night. We arrived in that vicinity of Niagara in the morning, busy throughout the day, and we arrived back in camp the next morning. So that was like a 30-hour trip of like non-stop power action and
feel bad for the
fun.
drivers.
And when they came back to camp, they didn't take like a day sabbatical. They were probably back on the fields, right? Camp was running. You for sure were.
Well, we slept in the morning.
Slept in the morning,
Then
and
we were back
to
to
regular.
But it was great.
Unbelievable.
That was the grand trip day. We had, we had a lot of fun. Baruch Hashem. The week before that, we went to Aquatopia, and just the involved. Baruch Hashem, the Olam over here, the campers here really know how to play ball. They really. It's a real sports. We're a sports camp as well. We have great fields, courts, and they have the eighth grade right now is involved in their all-star game for basketball.
I saw you also built a new hockey court in the gym Zibo.
Right.
This year, I saw also some more volleyball courts this year.
Some revamped volleyball courts, and we have the brand new game room that was put in. Put in a brand new game room.
We should do the next time we do a live in the game room. That's a real happening place.
They don't have any background noise, so we just totally quiet there.
Very nice place. I went over Shabbos. I went in. It was really good.
Yeah. So Baruch Hashem, they really have a great time. So back to your question. So really, my highlight of the summer really is watching. I would say a transformation of just the wholesomeness of a kid coming from wherever he's coming from, whether he had a good year in yeshiva, whether he had a mediocre year in yeshiva or less. Watching the transformation of a kid coming in the beginning of the summer, coming from wherever he's coming from, and just watching a transformation of growth in whatever area. Just when you're in yeshiva is obviously important. That's why this 10 months a year is yeshiva. But there's something that camp can do for a kid that nothing else can do. It brings out the zich in the kid. It brings out the yechidus in the kid, the individuality where he could shine, whether it's in playing ball, whether it's in art, whether it's in just learning how to interact and just how to be a good friend. I would say most of my friendships growing up came through camp, and I think most of the friendships here also, real lasting friendships come through camp, and that's just where a kid gets his zich, that's my highlight. I walk away, Baruch Hashem, it's hard work, like you said, and it makes it all worth it when you see a kid just rise to his potential.
Okay, now we're going around in the different activities we saw, but even the learning and everything, you're able to see the personal attention given to the kids. As so before you're dealing with the kid, every time I was talking before, every time we were talking, he'd go out of his way to give a special attention to anybody who's walking by in any which way. He was telling me how well the kid was learning, or a ball player. I think that personal attention that the camp is giving is a tremendous. And
they know the names. There's hundreds of kids here. I will never understand how you know all the names. There's lots and lots.
And we're still working on it.
But yeah, I was pretty impressed tonight by how everyone's coming in. You and mentioning the names. I was like, wow. Yeah. They knew the names. It was incredible. So that shows that it's not just a number. Right. There's another camper. You're part of the family. That's what you're part of the Agudah family.
Yeah, for sure.
Here you have, dozens, hundreds, if not thousands of parents watching this tonight, and we'll send it out. What message you want to tell a parent? A personal message you want to tell them that they should feel?
I would say you made the best choice in the world. That's number one. And number
register early.
That's for sure.
Please.
We sit down. I only get popular in February time when everyone's trying to get calls.
And then by June, the
aggravation of the winter was, the aggravation of the winter was, can you please, make a triple-decker bunk bed, please? Can you,
Which is really, just Shimon over here to talk about why we can't maybe just expand, make a new camp. Camp Agudah number 2. They had Ruach Country, Ruach
Village.
They had a thing in Brooklyn, Ruach 2. We should have Camp Agudah 2.
But really, the message I think to the parents is that Baruch Hashem, they're in great hands and they're doing amazing. Your child is thriving and he's really steiging in every which area. So.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity.
Rabbi Neiman, thank you again for an amazing Shabbos. Thank you for joining Agudah Live.
My pleasure. Yasher koyach.
And we look forward. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you very, very much.
I heard you said there's an ice cream party, so Shabbos during the 9 days. You have to eat something.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for the ice cream. We are going to take it.
Is Zalman here? Where is he? Oh, he ran away? Okay, so we got is he not here? Is Zalman here? So let's go. Okay, Zalman, come sit down. Zalman Krasnow. Welcome to the show.
Agudah Baruch Zalman Krasnow. Please tell all the people that are watching, the thousands that are going to be watching this. They got your name already, Zalman Krasnow. But who are you? And what do you do here at Camp Agudah?
I am the division head of the U.
Oh, the U.
Of the what?
The U.
What is the U?
It's the 10th and 11th grade staff. Their transition before they become counselors and JCs. So we have a program for them. They're day camp counselors, they're waiters, they're lifeguards. Basically,
so what does the U stand for?
U stands for that this is when people start thinking about you. This whole time, you're all the campers, they're worried about yourself. Now, as their staff, they start thinking about you.
That is great. Is that really? That
stands for unattached staff. They're not attached
unattached.
to a They're attached to each other.
This unattached.
Right. That special shirts that they made.
Maybe after our interview of unattached, they decided that this is not a good idea of unattached, and they Zalman thought of that U part. That's not about unattached to you. So that must be a pretty big cry. All these staff members. How many staff members is that?
This year we're 88 strong.
88. Unattached you staff members.
That's right.
Wow.
Wow. Is this
What
lifeguards, maintenance as well?
Not maintenance, not maintenance.
Lifeguards, junior counselors, day camp counselors,
Waiters.
and waiters.
And also the JSs, the
You know, by the way, the
workout
waiters on
gym.
Shabbos
Yeah.
were phenomenal.
Okay.
I will tell you that. I'm going to give a shout out to the waiters.
Hope you take care of
What
them.
was that waiter's name? Nuspam?
And just the way they do it.
I mean, shout out to our waiter over Shabbos, Nuspam. I forgot his first name. That sounds terrible. Ari Nuspam. He was great. But not only was he great, I watched. Everyone was there. They came over around. You need anything? You need anything? You need anything?
Extra, need more.
You asked them to get more. They were phenomenal. So if you're that division head, perhaps credits to you. But they're doing really good. They're doing really good.
So I'm assuming this is not your first year in camp.
This is my 13th summer in Camp Agudah.
Wow.
25 halves in a row.
Wow.
Not bad.
25 halves in a row.
That's very good. Wow. So what's what's your highlight of camp? Now that you've already
Dealing with the you.
Right,
Meaning
no, with you.
your highlight with the you.
right.
Can't pick a highlight. Every night is the highlight. Before we go on to the next night, then that night becomes the highlight. Every night we do something else. We go on a trip. We have a tournament. We keep them busy every night.
Also, besides for doing the work in camp, you have
Right,
like
that's what-
activities and other things for them.
That's it. They work the whole day, and then every night we do something different.
Outside
That's
of
amazing.
camp, inside of camp.
Outside of camp, usually outside of camp, sometimes inside of camp. Yep.
What do you have? A league?
We're the boys, Chayil. That's
The boys'
That's very good. I like that. Okay. So what do you guys have a special leagues for them? What any
not special leagues, but we play a lot of ball. I'll give you an example. Our last week. So last month of Shabbos, we went to Rabbi Heller. He's the Rebbe he's the learning Rebbe in the morning. So we went to his bungalow Matzah Shabbos for a barbecue. That was Matzah Shabbos. Sunday morning, they don't work on Sunday, the day camp. So Sunday morning went to a park. We davened by a lake. We had a special breakfast by the lake.
Wow.
That's Sunday. Monday we played Camp Araisa, Darche Intercamp. Tuesday we went to Mountain Creek.
Wow.
Wednesday went to Booster. It's a store in South Fordsburg. We had Shon Kogo before the 9 days, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, then.
Thursday we played Ray Intercamp. Didn't lose a game.
Did
That's
you
just
win
an example of 1 week in the U. We don't
Wow.
stop.
Okay.
the Raymond to camp game, that's important. Who won the game?
We won every game.
Agudah wins every game.
Everyone had a good time. That's what it is.
That's great. Make us proud.
That's it. You gotta follow if you want to know who's playing what and when, who's winning. You gotta follow the Twitter account.
That's right.
CA
CA
Kosher
Kosher
Hak.
Hak.
Is it
CA?
that? Kosher Hak.
CA Kosher Hak.
Yeah,
That's the camp Agudah.
Probably unofficial.
Unofficial.
Cover the logos.
Yeah. But
Wow.
so they're always updating on who's playing what, who's the starting five, and what trip they're on, and everything.
What is the record of the camp Agudah basketball team? That's not the U basketball team.
The U has much better record than the
The
camp.
U is keeping us in that, keeping us up there. Okay, good. Okay, good.
The
Listen.
future. That's the future.
That is definitely
yeah,
the future.
yeah.
Very good. That's what counts.
Very good.
That's what counts. That must be very, very hard when you have the staff that's not, let's say, not attached. I noticed over Shabbos, by the way, I didn't get the feeling of a group. You said 88. That's a tremendous number. If there's 88 unattached staff, you would see around camp like groups of 20 and 30 and 15 people by themselves together. I didn't see that.
We have our minion. We eat Shabbos by ourselves. It's a group. We stay together.
It's together, but I noticed whenever you walk around camp, it was integrated.
That's right.
Everyone feels part of it. It's not like I'm this, you're that, you're not my camper, don't talk to me. Everyone is together, all part of one big, we keep saying over again, family, but that's really what it is. Everyone's part of the camp Agudah, even though you're unattached, let's say, but they're part of it. They're part of the matzav here. Is that's what the feeling that I'm getting over
100%
Shabbos.
true. Not unattached. They're maybe unattached to bunk, but everyone's attached to each other.
Right.
Everyone's attached together.
Okay. Thank you very, very, very much.
Hatzlachen is very, very hard job. This must be something
This is
very, very hard.
to real staff.
They count
This is
the
the
JCs
one.
after.
Very good. Okay. Thank you. Hatzlacha. So we're gonna have as we close down. Okay, we're gonna close before we get to that.
But I noticed one thing, that all the guys that have like the power of giving stuff, Moshe Schmalz was here, he got a very loud round of applause. Everyone's, you want your air conditioner fixed, he's looking around, who's applauding for me? He walks out, he knows that next year the counselors are going to be decided how they did this year. So who they can ask? The division head. So those guys that have their eyes on the counselor, they got to make sure this year he likes us a lot. They're going to clap for him. You heard that cheer. You heard that cheer.
Maybe they just like him as regular.
Of course they like him. They listen. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
As we close down the evening, so we're gonna have two more guests. Right now, our second to last guest, we're gonna invite the division head, Rabbi Friedman, to join us.
Oh wow.
Welcome. Agudah Vach. Thank you.
Agudah Vach, Rabbi Friedman.
Agudah Vach. A pleasure to be here. I mean, I'm here the whole summer, but it's a pleasure to be here.
You're on the Agudah Live. This is like a separate.
I've been watching these for so long. It's an honor.
Good. We gotta keep these things up, Avi. We think if you guys invite us for Shabbos, we'll do this every month of Shabbos.
The more we can be here.
Okay.
So, Rabbi Friedman.
Yes.
So you also, what's your position in the camp?
My position is the 6th grade division head. That's my main job here in camp, Baruch Hashem.
Okay.
6th grade. Shout out to the most unbelievable campers in the world. They should be in bed, but I guess the
division head is here, so that's pretty much.
No one's going around the bunk to make sure.
Oh no!
I guess not. I don't know.
Rabbi, you were here. Yeah, that's it.
Can't lie, right? Very good. But the truth is, it's not just your work here is not just right now. As I've learned already from all the staff, this is you guys put a lot of effort in to the camp, especially you. And, throughout the year, I've been in touch with you about different things with camp, the videos. It's an amazing, you should know, amazing how much thought goes into the videos that go out. Even after chinuch, they think so much about what's the right type of song to go into. I'm saying I've been in the office when they talk about it and say what's the right feeling we want to give, and it's not a simple thing. I would have thought, just put in something, crack. The appropriate song goes into this.
We work on it. Baruch Hashem comes out. We're proud of it. But
it's terrific. It's very, very nice.
There's definitely a lot to be proud of. That's for sure.
Yes, right. As the Rosh Bahag of the 6th grade.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, before we
absolutely.
Had
as Rabbi Septimus started about the Rosh Hashivas.
And you sit here and you see the kids come in and they're a little bit younger leaving 6th grade is a little bit on
most
the
of the 6th graders are that's the age where most boys are starting camp.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it must be very hard and it's a bigger achrayus on the parents aren't used to it, the kids aren't used to it. What's your feeling going into it of that responsibility is you're not just someone watching the counselors. You really got to really care for every kid and handle.
We do. We really try our hardest, and we look out for all the boys, and we do. We really, Baruch Hashem, with our unbelievable counselors that we have. The staff here is really fantastic. All around. Not just give yourselves a round of applause. Not just that they're great Geshmaka counselors, but they're B'nai Torah. They're someone that the boys could really look up to, and that's something that we pride ourselves in, really, that our staff is phenomenal. And it makes my job much easier knowing that I have counselors that are really doing their job phenomenally. Shout out to Daniel Fox. Absolutely.
When you get one thing we've seen also is that a lot of the staff are past our good campers.
Yes, most of our staff comes as
we want to keep them in the
our
family.
Camp Agudah boys, like we call them. Yeah.
Where do they come from? Like what type of
They're really coming from all over, I think. They're coming from all different yeshivas. A lot of Brooklyn, but a lot of other all over. A lot of I don't have the exact. But they're the exact numbers.
I seen over Shabbos. I was meeting different staff members. I was getting from Tarchi and Trevedas and from Preisler in the 5 towns and other yeshivas in the 5 towns. And then you have the out-of-towners and all over the place. And everyone meshes together.
Yeah,
everyone's an Agudah boy, as they say. That's the bottom line. That's what they.
Group.
What are they? I'm an Agudah boy. Where I am during the year, it's irrelevant. When I'm here, that's what I am.
And that's also I mentioned today. I think you had mentioned the concept of just being someone good. It brings together. Many other camps, their focus is often like a certain type. Here, it's really bringing together everyone, both campers, both staff, and everything.
Campers, I know we have. We did the video last year. I don't remember the numbers, but we put in the front of the video how we have campers from. I don't remember how many different yeshivas in the hundreds, if I remember correctly. It was.
Right.
It was, Baruch Hashem. It joins together very well, and it's a great group of campers and counselors, and everybody's having a blast and growing at the same time in their Yiddishkeit. It's something special. It's a zchus for me to be a part of it. I'm assuming
you were here as a camper as well.
I was many years ago. I took a break. I can't say that I was here straight. No, I wasn't here 25 half straight. But I was here as a camper. I was here as a JC for 2 years. And then I went off to yeshiva, and then I came back as a Rebbe division head a number of years ago.
How many years have you been in division head?
I've been a division head since 2012, I believe.
Okay,
6 years ago.
6 years, something like that.
Amazing.
Okay. So, parents, I know I sent my kid last year also to your division the first year. What message, they must call you throughout the year, what message do you give them to comfort them, to make sure that they understand that they're giving over their kids for 4 months 4 weeks, I mean.
Maybe in this
8 weeks.
division for the first time.
For the first time, it's a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yes, we understand that 100. The first thing that we give over to them is that we understand that they, we're here for them and we're here to help you and we're here to help the boys and we're always there for the boys and, we're always available. And Baruch Hashem, we look out for the boys and I think that's the main thing, that they know that they have responsible counselors and head staff that are here for the boys to do the best job that we could do.
One thing you get in touch with them, do you have any questions, any personal issues? Whether
Absolutely. My number is listed. I give out my phone number and any
you want to
issues.
get alone with the kid, you want personal touch
Yes,
in any which way.
we do have different, learning. We have Rabbi Feuer, the learning director, and medical issues. The nurse is on top of very much, and the camp mother, and we have a phenomenal staff all around to take care of the boys, whatever they need, whatever it may be.
Shimon put together. I mean, I probably made it back, but Shimon I see has a wonderful team to work on, to rely on. I see in everything, whether it was getting the camp ready for months. I've been following him, but even just everything that works out here, the learning, every step of the way. There's someone he's relying on. I saw, even it was interesting. I saw by the Sudas that even though Rabbi Bald was one who was leading the Zmiras, there was always someone else who was getting up and talking and introducing. You had Rabbi Neiman, then you had today you had
Moshe
you always have someone who's dealing with the skits, and you have everything is done by different staff members. Each of them have this achrayus, and it brings a tremendous nice blend of different people.
Yes, couldn't agree more.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
Shkoyach,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for everything you do.
I think we're up to now our final guest for the evening.
I'm Zang, so we're gonna.
It's been a great Shabbos. It's been a great Matzah Shabbos, and we're gonna finish it off with a staff member from camp.
Come on down.
And he's gonna come on down to introduce himself. Okay, so I heard Shimon. I heard
the Shimon part. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Shimon Issak. I am a 7th grade counselor in Camp Agudah.
So if you're here now and you got a large round of applause, are these your campers?
No, there are various campers from different grades. A few of mine, they don't have to be in bed yet. Curfew's extended tonight, special for this. Especially if I'm here, so I can't really tell them to go into bed that way. So I guess they're going to be here until I leave.
Okay, good. So we'll keep on for a while.
So you want to stay for a long time?
Yeah, I mean,
I think I should go now, but they want me to keep on going. The boy over there waving me, go, take your time, keep it with you. The whole night.
Just keep on going.
You got it.
So what's your history in camp? Your first
I'm
time here?
No, I'm here now for 6 years. I came in 8th grade the first half. I was not here second half, and then I'm here since 9th grade straight through. And now coming out of first year base Medish. And I'm a counselor.
Wow, what yeshiva are you in, Shimon?
I'm in Rabbi Sender's yeshiva in Monsey, Yeshiva Das Chachma.
There's so many yeshivas. I think I Rabbi Sender's. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Is anybody else from your yeshiva here also? Or
Yes, I actually have another 2 people here from my yeshiva.
Oh, okay.
Chaim Gelberman and Ari Shef are both from my yeshiva, 2 9th grade, one 9th grade counselor, 1 8th grade counselor.
Oh, so you're spreading the yeshiva out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. 7th, 8th, 9th, we spread our ruach all
spread
around.
The wealth. We share the wealth.
You got it.
When you go back to yeshiva, what's the feeling you guys are like that you bring back to the yeshiva? Do you bring anything from camp, Ruach country, back to yeshiva?
So I'll tell you, every day when it hits like second Seder, or middle of second Seder, like every day, like, oh man, we wish we could just be running that league game, just going back and doing it again, instead of sitting here and doing this. Like, let's go, you remember that? Every day we just like went over and over how we did each and everything each day in camp, saying now, they both left this past man, they both went to Eretz Yisrael, one went to Eretz Yisrael, one went to Farakwe, but Baruch Hashem, during Elazman, every day, we came into yeshiva 2 days after camp, and 2 days ago, we were just having, wow. I mean, learning's geschmack. We're not stopping that. But everything else,
This is a conversation during Bein HaStarim that we're talking about.
Obviously, no.
Just to clarify.
As we're walking into second, exactly. As we're walking in.
By Sunday, may see this video and say, that's what you're doing during second Seder?
As we're walking in.
As they're walking in.
He sees us, he knows who Agudah boys are.
Okay.
We're there.
Do you ever get up like during second Seder and like do the countdown?
No, not exactly, because no, not that, but definitely Agudah boys are truly number one.
Very good.
They definitely are.
So you come back every year. You've been here for a few years. What's your highlight of camp?
I'll tell you, the ruach just can't be beat. Everything from the moment you walk in, obviously the first day you walk in, kids come off the buses. Now mostly come in cars from their parents to make the linen on their beds to keep them nice and cozy. Because
there was discussion this week that we should cancel that. No more coming up before choosing
I
bands.
agree. The kids come on the bus.
I noticed there's a new trend.
I'm here. I get to come 2 days
trend.
before, so to me it doesn't make a difference. But really, if they come on the bus, listen, there's something special. If not, their mother has to come. Make the linen perfect because they're not going to see them for like 4 or 8 weeks. Chas v'shalom.
What are you talking about? They'll see them that Friday down by the gate.
Give them the kugel, right? That's
I came in Friday. It was like a whole line of cars lining up. I was shocked.
That's it.
Okay, listen.
Away from them. Listen.
This is what it is.
The parents love their kids so much.
That's it.
The ruach definitely starts from the first day. We go, whatever, from after they come, we go into the shul, we get a welcoming speech, the whole place is going crazy, saying 850 people in the room, just imagine the loud, 850 kids just pumping and giving a schmack, just amazing, and then we go into the dining room, and the first night, the cheering and the chanting in the dining room, it's just phenomenal, just like a non-stop action, then just keep on going, a day after day after day, you hear the chanting for the 7th grade division, then for the 8th grade division, and the 9th grade, and the 4th, 5th, 6th, they keep on going, they don't stop, non-stop.
What keeps it going? What's the energy? What keeps it going?
I'll tell you. The counselors, first of all, giving all they got. Us, we put an effort. We're up to all hours of the night, sometimes 3, 4, 5. Let's not talk about later than that. But we're up, we're sitting there just getting ready. We can't dive, we have to dive with the bunk. But Baruch Hashem, we pump, and then really the campers, the smiles, just so happy to be here, just pumping.
All smiles, everybody smiles.
So therefore, everybody smiles. As the first day, Rabbi Neiman said, he gives his rules. He said the number one rule here in camp is that every kid must walk around with a smile on his face. I don't think I've seen, now I'm here, I think 17 days camp started, 18 days. I don't think there's a kid that has walked around with a frown on his face yet. Every single kid is smiling from ear to ear.
Beautiful.
I see it all over. Friends, I have a brother in 9th grade in Nasano. Everybody, I see it all over in camp.
Beautiful. Okay, good. That's the trick. Like
every kid is ruach. Yes.
The staff gives the ruach.
You saw the Zmirs on Shabbos, just the pump, the ruach, the jumping up and down, everything. That was just like, you saw for like half an hour by each meal. This goes on day after day, lunch, breakfast, lunch, supper,
the
Shabbos,
the Shabbos was a 2.5, 3 hour Shabbos, and we came in for little bits.
You were there for the half an hour.
And it was going.
Didn't stop.
Didn't stop.
Just like there's a little bit tonight, tomorrow. I'm sure. I'm saying breakfast, lunch, supper. It just doesn't stop. Keeps on going on and on and on.
Beautiful. The truth is, they all to the staff, because then you can have whatever you want on top. The guys who are interacting and engaging
in the trenches.
They're the ones who do it. So I think
it starts from the staff, and obviously it starts from the head staff and the directors and everybody.
But you're on the
top
ground.
Of that.
But thank you.
Yes.
Keep it up. Chazak
yes.
Before we end.
Shimon, thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Before we end, just one last guest. Yeah, one more. One last guest, Rabbi Feuer. Thank you, Rabbi Feuer, for coming down. Please join us.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Oh, welcome back, Rabbi Feuer. How are you?
Agudah, Rabbi Feuer.
Thank you, Val. This part's not on live, is it? It's not live.
Agudah, Rabbi Feuer. Welcome back. Welcome back for another year, a year later.
Year, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
But this year we're here for Shabbos.
Amazing.
We got to see it.
Amazing.
Hands on, our
you
eyes
have no idea,
to the ground.
You have no idea what it means that you were here for Shabbos. To get into this camp,
if
you're not a camper or a staff member, is almost impossible.
Wait, even a camper is hard to get in.
So for you to get into this camp for Shabbos, you must be working for Agudah to Solve America.
That may help. That may help.
A little bit,
that may help.
You have to still know the people on top. It took time. We started this process already last year to get in for Shabbos.
It was amazing to have you here, both of you.
Thank you.
It was an amazing Shabbos.
Beautiful Shabbos. Rabbi Feuer, as in charge of I would say the learning, a lot of the ruchnius that goes on. What this year, has been your highlight in terms of ruchnius, in terms of what you've seen from the kids in ruchnius in the camp?
Well, listen, when you come back to a new season in camp, Tafshanin Ches 2018, the pride and the nachas that we have from watching the kids that were here last year and a few years before, how they've excelled in their learning throughout the year really makes a big difference. We have a great summer, they go back to the city, and they come back refreshed, and they've gained that much more in the yeshivas, and they're back for another season. And even the new kids that are coming in, the younger bunch, 4th and 5th grade, the day camp, a successful day camp, we're getting the cream of the crop, and we're getting a tremendous feedback from the communities in the tri-state area, and even beyond. I mean, there's some amazing kids from Montreal. Shout out from Montreal. Tremendous. We have some kids from Mexico this year. Really, really nice boys from Mexico, from Eretz Yisrael. We have them really around the globe. That's really what It's really what Agudah Yisrael of America is all about, because we're the kibbutz from all over, all the Klal Yisrael, all over the world, and it shows that the parent body of our camp gets it, that this is a premier camp that's there to be mechanech their children for those 2 months of the year that they're out of yeshiva. So that's really what I believe what's contributing to the ruach. We're getting great kids from great families around the globe that are coming to spend their summers here, and that's what we're seeing.
Rabbi Feuer, I'll tell you that over the Shabbos, I saw Shabbos, I got to see Camp Agudah. Over the year, as it got closer to camp, from September and on, as it got closer to camp, the amount of phone calls I received, and I'm sure Marcus can testify to the same, people begging us, you gotta get my kid to camp. No, I never saw it. I was like, okay, there's other camps. Like, let's take
Relax,
it easy.
Man.
People would call me as if like kids would. This is gonna make it or break it to the kid. You must get my kid. If you can't, what do you know? People were like so dedicated to make sure that kid got in. Some did, some didn't. And I never this, let's take it easy. But now that I'm here, there's something about it.
You get it, yeah, absolutely.
There's something about Ruach country, about Camp Agudah that is special. And I get it. I understand why parents bang down the doors to get their kids in over here.
I remember talking to the staff in the office, Mrs. Rand and Mrs. Nakanovsky, at the Agudah convention, and we were like joking around about how parents were ready to, rush to get in. This was already at that convention.
They were joking. They were not joking.
And I was like saying, they're gonna ready to fill out their forms today. And the bottom line is that they were late. The bottom line is that a week after they open up registration, parents are calling me as well. We missed it by a day or two. We've been there for years. I said we got to be on time because Klal Yisrael is rushing to get into this place.
One guy called me and said, "What am I supposed to do, Shai? I was at the Agudah convention. I got it in the mail. It's not fair." I gave him a little leeway on that one.
Or Baruch Hashem. I have to tell you that, this Shabbos in particular, you came for this Shabbos, you saw a lot of Ruach, and I just want to mention, I know there's a lot of people watching this probably, and there's a staff member here that needs a refuah shleima, and I want to mention it, because I think that more people that know about it should daven from B'chal Simcha ben Chana Sarah, and we had the entire camp learning for his refuah shleima over Shabbos. It was unprecedented. We had this week the entire 8th grade in the Beis Medrash. Remember, this is after Shacharis, after a Kiddush, after a Shir, after a Suda for about 2.5 hours, right?
Unbelievable.
You saw what was going on over there? And then to leave the dining room and go straight to the Beis Medrash. Voluntary. They sat and we finished Makas for this boy, for his Chus V'Rosh Shlema. We finished it 2, maybe 3 times.
Wow.
Plus there are other Masechtas, Mishnayos, and Gemara that were learned. Boys that learned things during the year. But Masechtas Makas is what we chose.
Gemara, Masechtas Makas.
Talking about 140 8th graders that gave up of their Shabbos afternoon. There was no sleeping, there was no schmoozing. They were in the Beis Medrash. It was packed. Besides the other Batei Medrash, 4th graders, 5th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders, and 9th graders. You're talking about Kanai Nahar, about 700 boys that are just packing learning in on a Shabbos afternoon. This is something that is unprecedented, I believe, and something that's very special and unique to our camp.
That's an amazing thing. So today, on Shabbos afternoon, you're telling me the 8th grade boys, whatever number they sat down, they completed, they made almost like a siyum.
Collective
siyum twice, almost 3 times on Masechtas Makas.
Correct.
Yeah, what there's Bechavrusa, this is a Shir.
Most of them were the Chavrusas. They paired up, kids that don't even know each other. They know each other for 15 days. They made friendships over the last 2 weeks in Camp Agudah. They met each other. Okay, you learn this yeshiva, you learn that yeshiva. I learned from my bar mitzvah, maybe we learned from Bekiyas. We know what daf do you know? I know daf Gimel, I know daf Tev Zayin. Let's work on it together. We photocopied the Gemaras over and over and over before Shabbos. We gave it out and it was done.
I saw on the table.
That's what we did.
Daf from Gemara. I didn't understand what they were.
Tremendous. This is probably a group effort of Rabbeim together with the counselors.
Tremendous effort. Everything's a camaraderie. It's like Agudah Achas. That's what we're all about.
You took the words out. That's what I was leading up to.
This is not only on the ball fields and the courts. This is in the Beis Medrash, of course. And this is the chinuch that we give over to our kids, starting from the Gedolim, the Mayetzes, from yesteryear, from the previous generation, this generation, Baruch Hashem, and as we pride ourselves in the advertisements that we give into the paper, the Ated and Hamodia. After Sukkot, we have like the previous generation, the Haintik Gedolim, and we hope that all the boys in our camp, we're educating and training them for the future Gedolim of our people.
Right. And over the course of the summer, there are many Gedolim that actually come to camp. I know the Shabbos, Rabbi Viner was here.
I mean, which camp has this? You send your kid to a camp to have a good time. Which camp could say that our children are able to have a discussion in Hashkafa, in Halacha with Gedolei Rosh Yeshiva, Mayatz Gedolei Atayra, Gedolei Rabbanim, personalities from around the globe. This week we happen to have Rabbi Weiner from Muncie, amazing. He spent the last week we had Rabbi Blazer Ginsburg, Rabbi Belsky, Rabbi Reisman here come out the whole summer, which is amazing. But we have Rabbi Shmuel Kamenetsky from Etzkedel Atayr of Yeshiva, Philadelphia Yeshiva. How many people could say, my son was able to sit with the Yeshiva for an hour and a half on a Shabbos afternoon, an 8th grader.
During the camp season.
And ask the Rosh Yeshiva what his opinion is on following sports. And just have the opportunity, just feel comfortable, ask Rosh Yeshiva, Reb Shmuel, come and ask him that question. I don't think there's many parents that can say it, except if you sent to this camp. So that's something we pride ourselves in. I remember when I was a kid, we were like to have Reb Yankov Kamenetsky and Reb Ruderman, Reb Gifter Zechron Levracha, and the Blushev Rebbe.
That's
we were like to have the Blushev Rebbe here with us, Peirustish. These are the memories that are etched in my mind forever.
And these are the memories that will be etched in the campers' minds forever, how they sat with Reb Shmuel and all the other young men that come. This is what comes.
This is the Messiah that we have from our Rebbeim here, from over 100 years of Agudah Yisrael, of Europe and America, and this is what we're trying to give over to the next generation. This is a place of history. So we're zeichet to be part of this.
A place of history and a place of creating the future as well.
Absolutely.
And it's combining both of them together.
It's supposed to be here, and it's supposed to be a part of such an amazing family called Agudah Yisrael of America.
Rabbi Feuer was a schus for us to be here for Shabbos.
I have to tell you, Rabbi Schnall and Rabbi Markowitz, you both were superstars of Shabbos. You added very much to our Shabbos with the stories and whatever you do in Agudah Yisrael, which, unfortunately, I don't believe that there are enough people that understand what Agudah Yisrael of America does. And I can tell you, I know what they do. As a Rav, I know what they do. I know what you do for us on every day, the busing and the people who have issues with work on Shabbos, just the communal issues. But to see you both in action here at Shabbos, what you've done and you've given up your time, we have tremendous karas. We wish you atzlacha in all your endeavors.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you for joining us for another edition. And I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
It's late.
Thank you.
I see already the division heads are going like this to me. Curfew!
It's their bedtime.
Because they want to go to sleep also, and they can't go to sleep till the kids go to sleep, and the kids are telling me, no, continue, but I think we're going to wrap it up.
Okay,
it's an amazing Shabbos, an amazing week. Thank you, Rabbi Markowitz.
Okay. Next time, hopefully we'll be back in the summer.
We'll be back, and we'll hear from some campers.
Next time.
Agudah to all of our viewers. Thank you.
Thank you.
From Camp Agudah, Ruach Country.